Greetings, Rusty Dog here, and we're back. I had to do this. I was determined. I'm determined to get this right. I think I know what happened last time, so we're gonna give this another shot. Let's go inside because it's a little bit noisy out there. Okay, so I'm just going to announce this. One moment. Flight announcement. All right. Right. I think I'm ready. Okay, so Mr. Budman, hey, hi man. Oh, do you know, this has been hanging over my head. It's been, yeah, it's it bothered me. So I've done a little bit of YouTubing and stuff like that, and I kind of think I figured it out on my own anyway as to why we went wrong last time. I'm not sure about the power drop, but I'm pretty sure why we didn't capture the glide slope last time. But let's get the flight plan in. And if we go to... Oh, by the way, I have decided, as this is a redo, I've decided not to monetize this video, so there's no ads or any such thing like that. So you guys can watch it ad-free on this one. Make an exception, why not? So, yeah, if we go to the arrival airport and we take a look, oops, wrong one again. No, wrong one again, Rusty, try again, ground charts. Oh man, I'm so bad at picking out this. Yeah, it is ground charts. It is, come on, find it. Yay. But that's not the one you want, Rusty. That's not the chart you want. Bad start, eh? No, we want the approach. I don't know what runway I'm going to be assigned this time, but last time we were assigned 30. I haven't actually looked on the flight plan yet. So the fact that this is 2372 above the ground, it's quite high above sea level, not above the ground, above sea level. And I was coming in, descending with an altitude as if it was not 2,300, but it was as if it was like sea level. And if we add 3,000 feet to this, of course, then it's 5,300, which is probably why this 5,000 here is recommended. It doesn't mean we're 5,000 feet above the runway. It means we're 5,000 feet above sea level. We're actually 3,000 and 2,000 something above, in which case we would have captured the glide slope, because this line is the glide slope. What's the word for it? It's kind of the run out line of the glide slope of where you'll capture it. And I think we were down here. We were flying down here somewhere. And so if we carried on and not lost power, assuming we hadn't lost power, we wouldn't have captured the glide slope until we were around here. Actually, we were at 3,000 feet, weren't we? So we wouldn't have captured the glide slope till here. So at least I think that's what it is. Hey, Andy, how you doing, man? Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking it was. So I'm gonna definitely stick to trying to get to 5,000, being at 5,000 at Jevon, and I'm going to do that by actually telling the plane that, as if it's a constraint, I'm going to say, I want you to be at 5,000 by Jevon. I'm going to tell it to do that and see if that makes a difference. Oh, I didn't put the navs on. So we're back, same plane, same everything, just different flight plan in that it's been refiled. So I don't know if we're landing at the same runway. I hope we are, because I really kind of want to emulate exactly what we did the last time. So, if you guys don't mind bearing with me on this one, while I do this, I need to get it out of my system. I need to get it. I need to get it right. Okay, let me just enable a few things beforehand. I don't think we need to do the cab one, but we'll get that one up there. And yeah, and and it's daytime. It is daytime this time, so yeah. Guys, airports. Why? Oh, maybe it is. I thought Seattle. Is this a different Seattle? I thought the Seattle airport had a very specific. I'm not going to say building. Oh, we have a takeoff here. But it had a structure, a very specific structure at Seattle. I'm just going to see if I can grab a picture of it. I'm trying to wonder why I can't see it. Oh, it's a landing. Sorry. Seattle. Maybe I'm thinking of a different airport. In which case, I wouldn't even be able to start describing this building. I thought it had maybe a ball on the top or something. Yeah, clearly not. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's get this underway. The Space Needle. No, is it? No, no, this is actually something... This is actually... Oh, Jesus Christ. This is actually something that is... it's in the airport. It's part of the airport. It's recognizable. I'm sure it was Seattle. I think I saw it on the movie War Games. Seattle. I'm sure it was Seattle. Anyway. Right, let's have a look at the flight plan, because I've filed it. I just don't know the details of it. I haven't looked. Alright, here we go. Oh, it is a different runway. Okay, I don't know if I'm totally happy with that. Our SIDs and stars are the same as last time. Right, let's have a look and check it out on Navigraph. So we're looking at an approach into ILS runway 2 this time. Surely the height from the runway is going to be similar. Ah, now then. We have it's kind of the same, but it's the other way around. So it's still kind of high. It's a little, looks like a few feet higher. And it's still recommended 5,000. So I want to be at 5,000 at Hampo. Okay, let's remember that then. Let's remember that. So let's go into here. We've got this in. We've got 9 minutes before we have to leave. That's because I filed it earlier and didn't give myself enough time. Well done. Also, I'm using the correct SimBrief airframe as well, which I didn't do last time because I'm an idiot. Although it wouldn't have really mattered that much. So let's try to think the best way to do this. I don't really want to go through the whole boarding process thing, you know, but I think I will. I'm not gonna send this to MCD yet because it's a bit early for me to do that. I want to get into here. Right, so let's go into here first. Load up the flight plan. Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure you guys can appreciate that I could have just not be streaming this and just do it offline in case it all goes wrong again and I look like a fool again. But I'm kind of just putting myself in the lion's den with this one, aren't I? I'm just wondering about these are the climb wins. I'm just wondering whether it puts all the wins in for everything, but Anyway, it doesn't matter. Right, so cost index. What do we have? Well, we have the wrong screen. Cost index is 21. And the cruising altitude, yeah, I don't know that either. 37,000 again, like it was last time. So 370. Okie dokes. Yeah, I had a little problem getting the sim brief to load, in that I don't mean into the plane. The plane's fine. I couldn't get it loaded on the website. It was saying that my internet was disconnected, and it wasn't, because all the other websites. Not that I checked all the other websites, by the way. Yeah, no, but it internet was working, and it came back. So I think there was a slight disruption with SimBrief's website, which is brilliant because it was perfect timing. Just when I needed it. Just when I needed it most. Right, let's just bring this down. Where's my route? My route? There. I'll leave the route at the top there. So again, it's C8. And then Elks 3. This is what we had last time. It's just that we're coming into a different runway, that's all. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. So, KC and the Sunshine Band. Let's go departure. Oh, are we departing on the same runway? I think so. Yeah, we are. 16 left. Good, because I'm positioned nicely for that. 16 left via C8. Cool. And insert that. And then down here. Yeah, it's got that thing again, hasn't it? Alright, I'll take a look in a second. I'm not happy with this takeoff. I don't like it. Because we're taking off from the same one, of course, we have to do a U-turn. Did I click that? Yeah, I did. So we've still got this manual to go to C, which, how long do you have to wait now? 1 minute. Okay, so IR alignment in 1 minute, and then it'll pop up on here. Yeah. Gotta fly that manual. Alright. Not a big fan. I just like to have things a bit smoother. Come on. So while we're doing that, let's get boarded. I think there's a couple of reasons why I get pissed off. Obviously, the first one is, oh, hi, Von Doodle. Yeah, I'll get to that in a sec. The first reason, of course, is that it didn't go well. So that's a good reason. And
the truck is on its way.
The other reason, of course, is all the
fuel truck arrives.
Is all the time that you spend setting the plane up here, you know, doing the actual flight and all that stuff, only to find out that you know, it failed. So what happened last time, Von Doodle? I think I was flying too low. I didn't capture the glide slope, and I'm not quite sure why the engine, the auto thrust, lost power or dropped its power. It might have been to do with our altitude, and you know, the plane's like kind of programmed that when we get to a certain altitude. I'm not quite sure.
Please don't load aircraft.
But basically, we lost engine power, so we kind of, you know, pull up terrain, all that stuff. We managed to clear the houses, but by the time I cleared the houses, we were off the center line, and I managed to land alongside the runway and then have to veer onto it. Still got it down, but it was, you know, there would have been bruises and maybe a couple of broken bones. So hopefully we're going to get it right this time. Alright, so we're waiting for boarding now. And while we're doing that, let's go back into here. I want to get to there. Go to the meta. Let's just update that just in case. And we want 3003 on the pressure. So we'll have to switch that to inches. I believe that's inches. Yeah, I'm just just determined to get this right, or to know what to do, even if I have to hire a real pilot. Hire his time, one of these YouTuber real pilots, and just say, how much for 2 hours of your time? I'm determined to get it. All I want to be is like where I'm comfortable, like when we're descending and landing, I'm comfortable in knowing what I'm doing. That's the only thing I want to. I don't have to know everything about everything like an airline pilot. I just want to be comfortable in the procedures and all that stuff. And there was a couple of procedures that I carried out on the descent that I really shouldn't have done. When we were at 10,000 feet, I did do a few things. A couple of those things I shouldn't have done at that time, so we're not going to be doing that this time around. Right, so we've got this. Now, we're going to be taking off, I believe, this way. This is why we have this line. So, yeah, this is going to be our takeoff. Runway. Well, can that be right, though? We're taking off on runway 2, right? Okay, so... yeah, that's not making a lot of sense to me, but I'm going to see if I can make it make sense. 1 second. So, we don't want departure, we want the reference docs. Do we? No, you see, I still forget. Ground charts. I want airport info. This one. Okay. Oh no, we're taking off 16 left. We're landing at 2. You see, I haven't slept very well. I've only had a few hours. I'm tired, so I'm going to make mistakes. So yes, this is our heading out, and what we need to do is turn the aircraft around and capture KC. So we'll let the plane fly out a little bit, and then we'll turn it around and capture KC. I may even do that with the autopilot. We'll see if it'll engage. It might not engage until we turn around and face the actual point. But I think the plane's not happy with trying to do that of its own accord, so we'll have to do it manually, which is fine. I don't mind. We are getting fueled up there. We've got 5-4. We actually need, because this is not correct at the moment, but I think that's okay for now. So let's go back to here and here, and okay, so we're fueling up to 6.9. I hope, yeah, I would just put 6.910 or something like that, or 6.950, but come on guys, step on it, increase that fuel flow. Right, so I guess we can get everything else in. Why don't we just flip through the... No. I'm not going to flip through the flight plan yet. Let's put everything else in. Oh, can we go there? Go there. And I've got a cup of tea this time as well, so... happy. 6.9. See, this is just you telling the plane how much fuel it has. I mean, it's here, but this figure here isn't connected remotely to this. So we have to put it in, and now we've got our extra time. Zero fuel weight has just been put in by the plane. I don't think that's going to change. The 440, there it is. It is based on everything here. Oh, here we go. We got the boarding coming in now, and we should get some audio on that because we have the PA system on. We have to pull the switch so it turns white. That's clever, that, isn't it? That's obviously a light.
Passengers boarding starting.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our flight.
Right, where was I?
Place your large bags into the overhead lockers, wheels first, and keep
So let's do
all
performance.
items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing.
So we are definitely dry. Temperature here is
Or a front row bulkhead seat. All of
3
your
degrees,
items
so
must
we...
be placed into an
God,
overhead
it is cold here, man.
Once you have
In
safely
Seattle.
stowed your cabin bag, please take your
Yeah. Oh, any... yeah, I saw your message, Mr. Budman, and I thought it just said jump, and now I've just looked at it again, and yeah.
can now be fastened for departure. This is
Yes, indeed. Anything you can limp away from, I guess, yeah. Right, well, so we will go full anti-ice. Packs will be on. Load that. And calculate the audio. Done. Calculated. Send it to the MCDU, please. There's no beep or no... Like, when you click this, it'd be nice if it quickly turned color, you know, just to let you know that you clicked it. What's this? Runway info. Oh, right. Oh, we got the live METAR on this screen. Didn't even notice that before. Nice. And there you go. It's all filled in. Flaps, trim, flex to temp, everything. Brilliante. And we know the transition altitude is 18,000, both on takeoff and on landing. So now I can have a little run through the flight plan. So last time we had a couple of discontinuities. I don't know whether we're going to get it again. We got this one, which I'm okay with. I messed it up last time though because the autopilot wouldn't come on, and I'll try and tidy my manual flying up a little bit this time. Okay, we got decel and then limb. Why is that normal for them to be so close? Only 3 miles apart? It doesn't like this, guys. You see this? It's orange. It knows it has to be 250 here, but then in 3 miles it's saying it can't get itself down to 240 on this one. Does that negate it putting any more purple stars out afterwards then? And there's that discontinuity to Hambo. Now what I might do here is take that away. So we've got Wrexham, we've got Vidgv, which is here, then Wrexham. And then we've got this straight line out. Now I could just fill this in because I'm going to be turning at Wrexham anyway, so I am going to clear this rather than do it, because it's the same thing, because I'm just going to tell the plane, hey, you know, direct yourself to such and such. So let's do that. And let's clear this discontinuity. This is the line it's going to draw. It looks a bit weird, but let's see what happens when we do it. It's not the smoothest, but it looks like we're back on here. Right, so at Hampo, it says recommended 5,000. It says here 5,000 or above, but the thing did say 5,000. If I change this to force it down to 5,000, I don't think it's going to do it. It might have to readjust these. So we've got 5798. If I click that and tell it to do the constraint, it says here, there now. I'm gonna, do I do it here? Yeah. So I'm forcing it to be at 5,000 there. Let's see what it thinks about that. Okay, there it is. Oh! It doesn't like this speed. It doesn't think it can make that speed and slow it down enough, but it reckons it can get this one.
Welcome on board our
But yeah, it's happy with the 5,000
large
there.
bags into the overhead lockers, wheels first,
Okay.
and keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing. If you
By
are
this time, I'm hoping we'll have captured the glide slope
front row
and it'll
of
start bringing itself down. If not, we're going to have to use vertical speed to do it.
once you have safely
Oh, I can just see, this is just a bad flight for me. I can see it just going wrong.
ensure an on-time departure, we
I'm
will
forcing the plane down to 5,000 at Hampo rather than be at 5.9, which is what it predicted it would be at.
seatbelt
I wanted it to be lower.
ready for departure. This is a
And so the plane will descend
for observing
on a profile to meet that, which I'm hoping will be more agreeable to us. Alright. Has the baggage done? No, still going. Because it didn't close the doors last time. Okay. Anyway, Waspy. Delete the first two entries after KC. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, I could do exactly the same here, but I was actually thinking of flying it manually, but yeah, I could. But don't we have to extend this line out a little bit of a distance so that the plane, because I don't want the plane to just take off and then just turn immediately. I mean, kinda. Well, let's put it this way. If it all goes wrong, we can always put the flight plan in again, right? I mean, we've got this tracking out here. This 840, which is this. And this dot is what? Is this representative? I don't know what this dot means. Is this where we fly out? Hold on. I'm in the wrong mode. Sorry. That wasn't making sense to me. There we go. Yeah, okay, so forget the dot. So, I want the plane to come out to maybe 5 miles and then start the turn. Alright, I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to remove the manual, and we'll see what happens. What's it going to do here? See, it's not temporarily drawn anything in. Yeah, see, now it's doing a right-hand turn. Is that too steep though? See, it's doing it straight out from the runway, and that's not what I want. That's not good. I'm gonna have to just fly it out, make the turn myself to intercept this line, and then go for it. Yeah, I'm not particularly happy with that. I'd like to extend the line out from here, but I don't know if you can do that here. Isn't it this offset or something? No, maybe not. There's somewhere on this where you can extend a line. Let me have a look here. I don't think it is offset though. Where I just want to extend the line out and then have it turn. But I think you click it, and there's something where you tell it how far. What's fix info? No. How do you extend a line from a waypoint? Do you know what I mean? Oh, how do you do it? Let's have a look at this one. That's a hole pattern, we don't need that. How do you extend a line out? Because what I would do is I would just extend this line that we're taking off from to about maybe not 5 miles, but maybe 3 miles, and then have it make the turn.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, DIR.
welcome on board our flight. Please place your large bags into the overhead lockers, wheels
Yeah,
first,
here.
and keep your small items under the seat in front of you.
But that's the wrong one though, isn't it?
Handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing. If you are seated in an emergency exit row or a front row bulk
See, we can't do the C is the first one. We can't do the first.
overhead locker. Once you have safely
This is not going to work. I'm just going to put a number in here because I want to see what the effect
to
is.
help us ensure an on-time departure.
Ah, there you go.
We would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to board. Your seatbelt can now be fastened ready for departure. This is a no-smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
Yeah. It's not what I want though. It'd be just easier if I fly it manual, to be honest. I'll just fly it manual. I don't like it, but it's the way it is, I'm afraid. I'll do my best to fly it manual. Oh, what I didn't pay attention to was the 2154. It looks like we've got quite a heavy plane today. Lenny, hey, block 2. Yeah, you know what, I had rudder issues. I mean, I had more than rudder issues on landing yesterday, but I did find on the runway as well when I landed, moving the rudder around and everything was a bit sketchy. And I did have SDS on, but I've taken it off now, which is the side stick dampening system. I did a flight with that yesterday or earlier today in the early hours, but I've actually taken that off. This I don't have on rudder damping. I found SDS a little bit too laggy, so I've taken it off. Yeah, this auto jetway simulation, I guess that means it will come and go. Ah, auto door. Maybe that's why the baggage doors weren't closing. Let's leave those on. Maybe that's why the baggage doors weren't closing the other day. Yeah, you see, they stayed open, but it's too late. The baggage people have left. I don't care that we're over. It makes no difference. Right, let's get the cargo doors closed. How are we doing on the old passengers? I'm going to start getting prepped up here. Get the fuel pumps off. It's now it's the case that prepping the aircraft, doing all of this, from a cold and dark start up to starting the engines. This is the easy bit. This is the easy bit. It's for me, my weakness is, or one of my weaknesses is landing the damn thing. Let's get the seatbelt signs on because I want people. Well, take it off. Don't need it now. just waiting then for it. It'd be nice if they had different, like maybe 5 different choices of music. So we are gonna put the anti-ice on in a little while, because it's only 3 degrees out there. Yesterday, or actually this morning for me, but let's call it yesterday because it's easy for my brain to focus on that. But yesterday in Edmonton in Canada, we arrived with minus 22 degrees, and yeah, it was fine though. What are we today? Okay, well, it's 4 degrees in the positive, dropping to minus 2. Wait, hold on. So it's gone up a degree here. It was 3 degrees, now it's 4.
Remaining ground crew, please leave the aircraft.
Dropping to minus 2 tonight. So we had a little bit cooler temperatures, I think. Was it 2 degrees yesterday here? Yeah, but as I was saying, in Edmonton in Canada, we had minus 22. Now it's minus 17. Oh, it's warmer then. I can take one of my jumpers off. Yeah. Right, it looks like because we put on the auto jetway simulation a bit later, that we're going to have to do this ourselves now. And there she goes, just walking down the street singing. Yeah, I've got rudder dampening off. I want my controls sharp, but I don't want them too sharp. Really. Yeah, can you draw an extended line out from the runway? Or, I think what you can do, right, is instead of drawing it out from the runway, you take... Oh no, because it's this angle, isn't it? Yeah, you see, if C was this way, you could extend this line out instead, and then just do a radial, have the plane do a higher radial, or a less tight circle is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but C isn't... Actually, you can define the degrees, can't you? So if I pull this up, so let's say that's around, I don't know, about 217, 218. So I want to be able to draw a line for about 5 miles from KC out at an angle of 218 degrees. And you can do it. Yeah, when you said go here, and we have to do it on what they call the reciprocal, right, which is the opposite. So the radial in is 211. So if you take 180 off that, I can't even do it in my head. Why can't my brain do that? It's so easy. 31. But do you do it on the radial in? And then where do you tell it the distance? That you want the line drawing out to? Yeah, I'm not convinced it's like that, you know. Let me do it on here. I always thought it was here. Why is there two? There's 2 here. I've seen it done, and I even think I did it today. I even think I did it today where I watched a video where somebody actually... Well, establishing a holding pattern, like, is easy. It's just, you you can do a compute one for easiness, and then just decide whether it's a left or a right turn based on the charts, and you've got a holding pattern. But extending center lines and radials and stuff. Anyway, as I said, we'll just fly it manual. Now then, I believe that as we're taking off from runway 16 left, if I can bring this in, all I need to do is go nose right, follow this plane here, and then we're going to go up, and runway 16 left is here, so it's pretty much the same as yesterday. I just decided to park just about on the corner here, and we're just going to go this way, and it's going to be up here, so it should be a nice easy push out. What is it called actually when you let me just see if I can do this. So extend waypoint line, extending the center line. Oh, that's a different thing. Waypoint fix info. Is it that though? This is for putting a waypoint in, right? I guess. You know, I wish I knew more. I'm gonna have to find out if there's a way, if you can do it, and if so, how to do it. Because I really want to know. I want to know everything. I want to be like a sponge and just know everything. As much as I can. As much as I can. As I said, I only want to know enough to be comfortable in any given normal flight. So let's just accept these and get them out of the way, and then we'll get pushback. Alright. Okay, let's get the APU on. And now I'll be able to see if there's any wake coming off the back of these engines, because I couldn't see it last time. Some of these displays seem a little dim, and they're at maximum brightness, the eCam ones. I guess it's just my monitor. I don't have my monitor at 100% brightness like I guess most people. Mine's down a lot. Okay, sorry about that. Right. Anyway, while we're waiting for APU, I just want to go to Navi, and that's not correct. Okay, so Hampo isn't a 5,000 feet constraint. We need to be at 5,000 or above. It says recommended here, so coming in from Hampo over towards Obmox, this is our glide slope line, and so we should intercept it at this point, 7.9 miles. If we're at 5,000 feet, at just under 8 miles, we should intercept the glide slope. At least that's what I make out of that. Right, so 110.3, final approach course is 20. And this is our DA. No, it isn't. Our DA is down here. 2525. Okay, other thing is that I forgot to note. I think it's 168, but I can't remember. Ground charts. Forget the reference docs, Rusty. 164, that's what it is. 164, that's from memory. Yay! 164, that's how we're heading out. That's the one thing I'm missing from here. This is already preset though. Oh no, it's not. Okay, you've changed. Did yesterday. It was magically preset. Alright. I think we're good then. APU available? Indeed. Alright, cool. Let's get the bleed on, and I'm going to turn on the engine anti-ice at the moment, and come on GSX. Oh, it's temperamental and laggy. Thank you. Sometimes it doesn't come up at all. Wait a minute though, I didn't have to do this yesterday. It did the pushback on its own. What did I do that made it do it on its own yesterday, I wonder? Yeah, it started the whole
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push is completed and brakes are set.
It wasn't that, by the way. It just started off on its own. Oh, the beacon light. That was it. Yes, that was it. Yeah.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Thank you. I was about to forget to do that as well. See, now Fenix has taken over the pushback thing.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
I'm just going to assume it's done a no on that. Right. In the Boeing, you can pin the charts that you need. I guess here you would just favorite them, I suppose.
Locking gear.
Okay.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push is completed and brakes are set.
Cabin crew, arm doors and cross-check.
Okay. They have done a good job with the upgrade. It's much more study level than it was. I mean, and the flight dynamics are more accurate now than what it was before. The most study level plane in any sim so far, I believe. I wonder if it's wise to have my glass of drink next to the four-way plug extension. Probably not. Alright, we're allowed to start engines now, so let's do that. See, there is a lot to
Gentlemen, please observe
remember.
the cabin crew member closest to you as we are about to demonstrate
But
the safety features of our
once you
Airbus
become
A320
comfortable with doing it,
aircraft.
the procedure, the overwhelm gets less, and it just becomes a matter of remembering everything
Welcome
and
aboard
rhythm
Airbus
and stuff.
A320.
So, yeah.
Please pay attention to illuminated signs and crew instructions, including the following safety procedures. The safety card found in your important information about exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and the brace position, which you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft. The cabin crew are now pointing out the exits nearest to you. Please be aware that your nearest usable exit may be behind you. Emergency lighting will guide you to an exit.
If it goes wrong at the landing, I may swear. I'll try not to, but I may swear.
Adjusted and released as shown. It must be fastened whenever the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails,
Why are we dotted again?
drop from above you. Pull a mask.
Last time was the air rack
The oxygen.
cycle wasn't up to date. Now it is.
And breathe normally. Hold the mask in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water,
Why are we
take
dotted?
a life jacket from under your seat. Remove from the pouch and put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist and click together.
Cockpit to ground.
Pull the
We have a
strap
good
to
engine start.
adjust.
You can disconnect.
Do not
Unlocking gear.
life jacket inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate it by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs
Yesterday,
blow into
we didn't
its
get a
tube,
dotted flight plan.
there is a light and whistle for attracting attention.
Now suddenly we do.
The cabin crew can assist
Once
you
again.
with life jackets for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrests down, window blinds open, and seatbelt
There you
fastened.
go. That's what it was.
Further
Heading mode
information
wasn't
regarding your safety
back set to
will be
managed
found
again.
in the in-flight magazine. We hope you have a great flight.
Right, has she gone? No. Let's get the flaps down to set flaps 2 for takeoff.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear, right is clear.
Okay, so now that that's done, let's get the... Oh, I don't like this camera. It needs to come down a little, and I should set my own, shouldn't I? It needs to come, like, we need to cut this top bit off where the lights are, and bring in these switches down here. So, let's get the taxi lights on. I can set my own camera for that, though. I can make my own, so I'm not really too fussed about it. Right, because I'm overtired, I'm probably going to be missing things. You need a good non-tired clear head for this stuff. And I don't possess that at the moment because of my weird sleeping hours. Okay, we're good. I'm not too bothered about colliding with other planes or any such thing like that. I'm just going to carry on doing what I'm doing. We'll get to the holding point and then we'll do the other things that are on the checklist. I'm not going to take this first turn off here. I want to take this second one. It feels a lot more responsive without the side stick dampening system on. Even though I know the side stick dampening is, you know, it's pretty accurate. Apparently, well, it's pretty good compared to the real plane, according to what real pilots have been saying. I mean, surely
Cabin crew, seats for takeoff.
surely the landing can't go worse than last time. Yeah, it can. Yeah, it can. It's me. It's me at the wheel. Yeah, I just found it a little bit laggy, Lenny. It was just a bit lagging for me. Like, for example, I would twist the joystick because I don't have rudder pedals. Okay, so I'm twisting the joystick to do the yaw or the turns, and I would twist it one way, and then the plane was turning fine, but when I wanted it to stop turning, it wasn't just a case of stop twisting the joystick, it was a case of counter steering it back in the other direction, which makes the front of the plane look like it's going left, right, left. You know, you constantly, it's like getting the back end out on a car and you just constantly counter steering and the one way, then the other, and then the other. It's just a bit too laggy for me. I've always managed without it, but now that they've got it simulated, I guess it's just something that I need to get used to. So I'll probably enable it later on, just out of realism's sake, you know, but for now I'm going to leave it off because I just need more usage with it, but I'm not going to do it on this particular flight because I don't want to do that. Signs on. Signs aren't on? Oh no. I should have put the seatbelt signs on.
Traffic.
Never mind, traffic. I'm just going to ignore that. Okay, and finally then, landing lights and nose lights on takeoff position. And yeah. Yeah, with the SDS off, like it's just, look at it. When I cancel the turn by twisting the joystick back the other way, it's not kind of lagging and I'm having to wait for it. And because I'm waiting, I'm thinking, oh, come on, go back the other way. Or stop turning. And so I may be over twisting the joystick, if that makes sense. And that's what's making it jerk back the other way too much. It's difficult for me to explain, I think. But okay, so we're ready to go. We're configured. Alright, this isn't the difficult part. It's the it's the descent and landing for me, or the actual landing, it seems. Alright, let's just do this. So what do we got on there? We got, oh, yeah. I don't think we're going to need it. I don't think it's been detected. Does it say it's not detected? No. APU bleed. Oh yeah, that can come off. APU. Not necessarily the bleed, but the APU can come off. I've done that a little while ago. Yeah, everything else good. Alright. Let's get a stable start. I released the brakes a little early there. Okay. Give me that. Let's go. I have 100 knots. My volume a little higher than yesterday. It was early in the morning. I couldn't really have my volumes up too much. Okay, gear up. Not going to make the turn yet. plane coming underneath us now. Okay, flaps 1. What's the maximum bank angle on this thing, by the way? And I know it protects itself, but I don't want to be hearing bank angle, bank angle. Okay, so retracting the flaps to 0 and disarming the spoilers. Now we'll just gradually make this turn. I think I'm banking a bit too much. I'm certainly pitching up a bit too much. Just get this, the climb detent. We're dropping in speed here. Come on. The computer should stop the plane from. It's on auto thrust, so it should stop itself from stalling or anything like that. Now, here's an issue. C is no longer...
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened. While
This is weird, because C is here.
we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets.
So yeah, I'm gonna direct it to the next
Remember
one.
that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes. In just a few moments,
Yeah.
we will commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to choose from our fresh selection available today.
I'm manually flying this now because autopilot doesn't want to know
You can also
at the
purchase a
moment.
selection of hot beverages together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept all major
Remind me never to fly out of this airport ever again.
Just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Why is autopilot not kicking in? I know I don't know what this TP thing is. Why doesn't it? Okay. I'm not going to ask any questions because there's no point really. Autopilot will not engage. It's not happy about something. It flies closer to reality in Block 2. Why do we have no autopilot? Lower my nose to gain speed. Could be that. Okay. Thank you. So I guess if the plane is too close to a threshold it doesn't like, it will not engage the autopilot if it's not configured the way it quite likes it. That kind of makes sense. But because I'm not an actual pilot, I don't know these limitations. Yeah, the flight directors, I know. Okay, so let's get belts off and landing lights off. Ice not detected, that's cool, we can get that off now. And we have a clear screen. TP. Don't know what that means. I'm going to screenshot it so I can remember to look it up later. Yeah, it was in the dark when we did this yesterday, so we didn't really get much scenery. at all. Definitely need to study the manual on this thing. Right, it's probably about 6,000 pages. What did I say, WASP, that was exactly rusty? What was that? Transition point, as you inputted the directive. Oh, right, that makes sense then. Ah. So until it reaches Alps, that transition point's going to stay there, and then it's just going to carry on doing its normal flight pathy thing. That makes sense. Yeah, look at those snowy mountains. So yeah, here we go then. We're good. We're going. Air Canada, on our way to a fantastic flight and landing. And yes, if I don't nail the landing again, I'm going to keep doing this flight. For the next time, if I fail on this one, for the next time, I will probably choose an airport that's a little bit closer, not too much, because I don't want SimBrief to do this top of climb and then top of descent on the very next thing with 5 miles in between. Don't want it to do that. So yeah. So as I want to go back outside the plane for a little while, but I'm waiting until we reach 18,000 so we can get the air pressures set to standard. Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, Wasp, maybe I can book some of your time instead. I've got a myriad of... There's good news and bad news, though. The good news is... No, the bad news... the bad news is I've got 1,000,001 questions. The good news is that because of my memory, I can't remember most of them. So I'll probably have about 10. There's things I want to know. Like, I'm assuming you're okay reading the Navigraph charts and understanding, like this one, for example. I have a question here, like this line going up here, right? So this is this line, this extended line here is your localizer, right? Because it's the from the top down, it's your the localizer is your what's the word I want here? Latitude, longitude? No, the localizer is to keep your plane on the center line, and it's the deviation left to right and blah 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 blah. Glide slope is this line here, and the glide slope. So this is your your L nav, and this is your V nav, where it's the deviation up and down. So this is your. Do you know what I mean? Left and right. Yeah, exactly. Let's go basic. Localizer, left, right, get it in the center, and then glide slope up and down. So, so this is the extended line coming out on the glide slope, right? Which goes to this point there. So that's at 7.9 nautical miles out. So, if we're at 5,000 feet, once we get to 7.9 miles out, at this point we should intercept the glide slope. Or at least lock onto the glide slope. Is that correct? Am I correct in saying that? And then the plane will attempt to do this descent, which will be on a 3-degree slope. The glide slope here, 3 degrees of downward angling thingy. Yes, correct. Good. So this is why I want to do the 5,000 feet and actually have the plane at this altitude at Hampo well before, so that we can do it. Now this is 10 miles out and this is 7, so we'll be flying for about 3 miles at 5,000 feet and hopefully intercepting the glide slope. And then we're good to go, go, go. Oh my god, I have just got so many questions. Oh. And like, it's not like the Boeing where you have to like put the final approach course in, put the localizer frequency in, because the Airbus just fills it all in for you. Look at those mountains. Whoa. We have a little patchwork quilt thing going on here. I'm not using my auto FPS program on this one. I did do it yesterday, but I'm not going to use it on this one. Oh, now then. I've noticed, oh well, look, there's graphics there, but there's no actual turbulence that we can pick up. You know that turbulence you get and it makes the whole screen like jelly? We're not getting that here. I've noticed how we don't get it on the Airbus. At least I can't remember if we had it on the version 1. But we're just getting, you know, the smoky trails, but no turbulence back here. Unless I just haven't hit the sweet spot yet. Look at the detail, look at the bump mapping or the normal mapping here on the bodywork. It looks really good. Unless that's modeled in, I doubt it. That's probably a normal map. But yeah, the model, and even the interior now is just so much better. I don't think I've got a, oh, I do have a camera. Oh yeah, I did this yesterday. Look at the filth on this. These are liveries that come with the plane. This is not a third, well, they are third party, but Fenix bought the third party people to do these and then brought them up with the plane. But yeah, even this, like, you know, the stitching on the vinyl or whatever it is, the forks leather, is really nice. There's just a bit more detail here on these interiors now, just a little. You know, you've got the writing here: fasten seatbelt while seated, life jacket under your seat, Recaro, which kind of surprised me that Recaro do plane seats. I didn't know that. So I think what I want to do is just add another camera. Let's put some cameras in and just hope everything in the cockpit's going fine. Let's pretend we're going to sit on this seat. Right, so we've got our arse out there. And this would be our view out. Two. But I also want to go back to another row. Seats back here, like this one. Yep, I thought so. I was sitting a little bit too far out. I'll do the same on the other side. A little bit of an angle because that's your head would kind of be at an angle a little. This is a good view to see the slats and the flaps coming out and whatnot. And then of course the other good seating position is the one where you can see the engines. So if we're looking at the two emergency exit doors, we need to go a bit forward on those. God, there's not a lot of legroom here, is there? Well, actually, yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Okay, we need to go a bit more forward. I don't think we're going to get a decent view of this. I wanted to get the engine. That's a bad seat. But I guess this one is our best choice. So I've got 4 cameras created so far. Yeah, see, I can't see it. I'm just going to have to pretend I'm 6 foot tall here. And we'll do camera number 5. Now for camera 0, what I want is a better view of the overhead console. So we're going to go right in the middle of the plane here. And we're going to tilt the camera up. Zoom it out. We're kind of getting a little bit of a fisheye effect though. Okay, now if you do, can you come down a little? No, down, down. No, no, down, 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 down. Oh, this is such... It's so unintuitive because the camera movement, like this is up and down. So let's say zoom in, zoom out for the purpose of this. And then I need, up is down, so we need to go that way and then zoom out. One more, quick one. There you go. Alright, so that gets us everything. It looks a little bit more distorted than the other one, but at least we've got all the switches on here now. We've got the nav, everything I need. So I'm going to do Control-Alt-0 to save the camera, and then it should be Alt-0 to get back to it. And Alt-1, Alt-2, Alt-3, Alt-4. So in my controls I have Control-Alt and the number keys. I don't know if that's default, but I have those in order to save custom camera 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then to load custom camera 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's just Alt plus the number. That's a, I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if that's a default keybind, but that's how I've got mine set up, and so it just makes life easier for setting up. So if I want to do an angular shot here of the MCDU rather than a preset camera, which might look at it, let's see if we've got one. Yeah, there it is, camera number 1. That's a nice camera. It's overhead, it's direct, and it's brilliant. Sometimes though, I just want to be able to see it from here, and so I could set up Control-Alt-9 for that one, and then I just do Alt-9, and Alt-9 again will bring you back to whatever. So if I'm looking out of the side window and I do Alt-9 and then I do Alt-9 again, it takes you back to where you were. And Alt and numeric point, numeric period, numeric stop, full stop, whatever you want to call it, is your default position. Alright, so we're still getting up there, and we've got some decent speed. Yesterday this flight, the plane wouldn't go over 250. It was like, well, yeah, it was about 252 or something. It just wouldn't go at its proper speed. Now it is. Yes, heat haze. Yeah, heat haze. Yeah, a little under the glide slope. Yeah, but so what would you set this to then? Instead of 5,000, would you put it to 4,009, or would you put it at 5,000, right? So the other option would be to put it at 5,000, so the plane reaches 5,000 at Hampo, and then before we get to the intercept point here, would you then put vertical speed minus, I don't know, 700 or something, so the plane starts to drop. So you're making it drop. You're keeping it in managed mode, but you're making it drop down under the 5,000 and then intercepting the glide slope. And of course, I wasn't paying attention to it yesterday, but the diamonds here. So when you put the LS on, which of course you don't use LS for RNAV approaches because it's freaking pointless. But yeah. So you've got the diamond that comes across here, which is your localizer, right? Your left and right center line thing. And you've got the diamond that comes up here, which is your glide slope, right? And then if this has got a purple arrow here, like an upside down V shape, it means you're below the glide slope. And if you're too below the glide slope, right, then you can if you're too below the glide slope, you can fail to capture it, correct? Yeah, I think so. Just draw the GS line up in your head. Yeah, because obviously the glide slope line extends beyond that line. It doesn't stop at 5,000, right? I wonder how far it does go out, actually, by the way. But yeah. And yes, as you guys say, the scenery is amazing. Very cold. Right, so I have a question. I have my own idea in my head of what it is, but to say I'm 100% on this, I don't know. At what point, roughly, give or take, are you guys activating the approach phase? Not this, the approach phase. Is it done just before the... Hold on. Go down here. Just before the decel point. Would you activate it then? Is there a specific? Because don't forget, the runway is 2,300 above ground, so this would actually be 6,200 feet. And then we would activate the approach mode when we're on the final approach course, right? As we're lining up or lined up with the runway, we'd activate the approach mode. But the approach phase, I brought it in too early last time. I brought it in at 10,000 feet, which is not correct. I know you have to do it later. And there is a marker on the map as well, isn't there? On here, which is the purple circle. There's a purple circle, which is your decel point, right? Activated at flaps 1. Yeah. Yeah. In my head, I had to do it. I had it, so I was going to do it just before flaps 1. So my sequence is going to be this, right? So you activate flaps 1 after the decel, right? Because that's when the plane starts to decelerate down from 250 down. So when you get to that speed where you can activate flaps 1, before you get there, I'll do approach mode, then flap 1, flap 2, gear down at around 5 to 6 miles out from the runway, arm the spoilers with the gear down as soon as the gear's down, then go flap 3 or even flap 4 or flaps full in this case, flap 4, flap full, if you need to. And then on the descent, on the final approach, at 30 feet above the ground, we start to flare the plane, and then when we get the call out for 20, I'm going to idle the plane, idle the thrust, and then on touchdown, obviously, retard. We will get that retard message, which is, it's a reminder message. It's not necessarily a warning message, but like a reminder. Like, you don't have to retard at that point if your plane has got too much speed or energy and you need to slow it down a little more first, but with a bit more flair. You can wait and not retard at that exact point. It's just a reminder. Yes? So, yeah. So if you need to bleed speed off quicker, then you activate it sooner. Yeah, that would make sense. So there we go. We have altitude cruise. It's just changed, and Mac. Yeah, and the other thing I didn't do yesterday, of course, was it didn't really make any difference, I don't think, but I allowed the plane to go past top of descent, a mile maybe, before I actually started the plane descending. But I don't think that made a difference because the plane compensated on the way. It kind of just dipped its nose a bit more. The vertical speed was more than it needed to be, and it leveled itself out, and the donut thing here was in line. We got it all in line on most of the flight down. You maybe want to watch Wasp, if you don't mind. Maybe watch the video that I did last night. Not the whole thing, don't bother with the whole thing, but just at the ending, the landing, when I'm around, say, 10,000 getting to the landing, and tell me what went wrong. I think it was just an issue of I was too low. You know, I was at 3,000 something. I was at 3,004, I think, trying to get to 3,000, and we should have been here at the 5. So it would be correct to say I'm a little bit more confident now, but that doesn't mean it's gonna go right at all. Yeah, if it's a steep path. But when you say if you have a steep path, are you meaning that if the plane tells you, like, too steep for disable, if the message comes up, and if no message comes up, then... I mean, I tend to do it a little bit before anyway, maybe a mile or so before, just to give it a little bit of cushion, so to speak, a little bit of buffer, so it's got a little bit of room to play with. Just to, you know, make its descent a little bit easier. So it will populate this page and fill it out with the frequency and ILS on its own. The only thing I'm going to need to put in is the... If we go to the next phase, But when do you put your minimums in here? Do you do it at the same time when it says enter destination data, or do you enter the destination data before the message comes up anyway? Yeah. And I'm going to also choose another flaps 3 landing, I think. 7 miles? Wow. Okay. We kept it below consistently, yeah. I think you're right. So I'm going to I'm going to obey the chart requirement. It's not like a it's a recommendation, this, and I'm going to follow that and see if that makes a difference. I think so, because how many flights have I done where I've not had any issues capturing the glide slope and just landed the thing? You know, I've done many of them. And it seems that even what I need to get in the habit of with this as well is when we're coming in, you know, you're on the final approach, that you would enable autopilot too, so they're both enabled. Now, normally you've got both autopilots, so you have a dual, Cat 3 dual landing, which is an auto land. But you can enable them both, even if you're not doing an auto land, in case, apparently, in case one of the autopilot systems fails, the other one is still working. Because they're both, I could switch this from AP1 to AP2, they're exactly the same, but I believe they're on different systems, but the plane would function the same. And I think you have them both enabled, just in case of a failure on one of them, you've got the other one. So you both watched DEF CON, and what I did watch the stream, and you were too low. You would never have captured the glide slope. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. If you look at the glide slope line here, because I was so low, around here, I think, I wouldn't have captured the glide slope till I was here, and it would have been too bloody late. I would have been too close to the runway. Yeah, crazy. And this is your minimums, right? I mean, MDA, minimum descent altitude, right? And then you've got your... And what I've seen some pilots do as well is they'll put in their final descent altitude here, and then once they've reached that, they will apply a minus vertical speed to bring the plane down further, but they'll move this out of the way. So they'll take this up to around I don't know, 8, 9, 10,000 feet. Not for the plane to do that, but just to get it out the way so that it's not interfering. It's like the 5,000, it's not stopping the plane from descending further than that 5,000. So they'll drag it out the way by increasing it and continue to descend the plane using the vertical speed button. Yeah, I was just too low, yeah. So it's amazing how something just as simple as that. And I did notice, you know, before we took off, I did notice it was recommended because I pointed it out on the stream. And I don't know, I just didn't stick to it. I'm not sure why. So I shouldn't have to use vertical speed, right? I should just, if I keep it at 5,000 and intercept the glide slope, I can just keep everything managed, right? Keep everything in managed mode. Because I'm not that real pilot where they're pulling the speed out of managed mode and managing it manually, you know, going down to 230, down to 200, down to 180, and then doing the VS to manually bring the plane down. I just want to keep everything in managed mode and just let the plane handle it. And as long as I do all my procedures right, I'm hoping that's the thing. Yeah, once you're established on the glide slope and the localizer, set your altimeter to the missed approach altitude. There you go. Exactly, Lenny. Yeah, learn by the mistakes. Exactly. If I make a mistake like this, then my next thing is to find out, right, what happened? Why did it happen? And how can I correct it? So I've got my fingers crossed that I am going to correct it this time. Yeah, we'll see. Can you switch to night? There we go. I actually like this night thing, but I don't know if for the live stream, if the visuals are better with these. I think the visuals are probably better. At night time, yeah, night charts is really a lot handier. Oops. It's lagging a lot, eh? Wow. And obviously as well doing, like, I know how to do things like create a holding pattern. So if you want to look at the chart, you see a holding pattern on one of your arrivals. You see the holding pattern. I know how to set that up in here on the flight plan, you know, and stuff like that. So yeah. So I'm just going to write down my barrow so that I have it, or my MDA. Wasn't MDA a title of one of Madonna's albums? Anyway, yeah. So it's 2325 plus 200, so it's 2525, which I believe is here. I don't know what high ALS out is. See, if we were doing an RNAV approach, I believe we have to do this one. This is your localizer, which you don't get a glide slope on RNAV at all. So I think our minimum would be this on an RNAV approach, and instrument landing is this one. I'm going to look up tiles out. Reduced approach lighting. Okay, so NALS, no approach lighting system, or any other approach system, high ALS, miles on. So it's high up. It's something approach lighting system. So IALS without the H is intermediate approach lighting system. Then there's BALS, basic approach lighting system, NOLS, no approach, and FALS, full approach. So this is referring to the lighting system, I guess on the runway, right? If it's a runway that's maybe it doesn't have the full lighting system. That would make sense. That would make sense. It's like 50 feet higher. guess. Yeah, holding pattern. Hi, One Doodle. Yeah, holding patterns on this is dead easy to set up and cancel. So let's say I want to set one up at Elks, which I don't because it's way too high. You just hit there and then you go to hold. And instead of trying to figure out what to put in here, just hit computed, and then you can decide if it's a left turn you want to do or a right turn holding pattern, where, you know, it'll come off the flight path and then just do a left turn first or a right turn first. And then when you get back here, you've got Elks, and then you've got another line, something that says like hold and the degrees or something, and then you've got Elks again. It'll be repeated, and then you'll have immediate exit here. So once you start coming out of the hold pattern back onto the flight path, rather than do another loop round, you can just hit this button for immediate exit, and it'll cancel the holding pattern and carry on its merry way. And that's it. It's actually really easy. I've never put the plane into a holding pattern, but yeah, it's very easy to set up. But because we've got like we're way out before we can even like there. So I could set one up here, but I can't. I don't know. Can I use the plan here to step over to that specific waypoint and view the holding pattern that I set up? I don't know. Yeah. Looks like we have another message. Canada operations. Don't bother reading it, but I like that it's there. Right, so top of descent comes 77 nauticals after. Oh, I see that, and I don't know why. I've got the Lady Gaga poker face song in my head. You know where she does Rome Ra Rome Ra Ra. I don't know, it's in my head. Anyway, it's my stupid way of thinking. So it's quite cloudy over there. I think the next flight I do with this, assuming this one goes fine, I'll switch back to the IAE engines, give those another go. We did do a flight in that plane. The engine sound, well, I can't really comment. The engine sounded really different to me, and it was a bit of a pain because it kept going. But at the time, I don't know if that's how it does sound, because I had my speaker setup was incorrect, and I wasn't getting the sounds out of the right speakers correctly again. But now my speakers are working properly and I can hear everything. But it was a weird sound. Sending it as why the flipping delay? Is that what that is? We were delayed yesterday as well. Yeah. Hey, all I have to do is, well, no, I was going to say all I have to do is speed the plane up. But no. And you know what, Wasp, yesterday what we got? The runway inbound, the final approach course into the runway, on the charts it said 300. But on the plane in the, no, not here. Hold on. So on the chart it said 300, but when where am I going? Sorry, Radnav, Jesus. Yeah, it's filled it in, look. So it actually put in the inbound course as 300 301. Okay, it filled it in as 301, which is fine. 1 degree, I'm not going to argue over that. And as we were approaching the runway, I think I mentioned it, if you see in the stream you'll see it, that the wind was a headwind at 301. So we had a perfect full-on headwind. So I didn't have any, I had no excuse for the plane deviating from the center line. Oh, I can't blame the wind. Yeah, so it was a perfect perfect one, but I doubt that's going to happen again. So on this airport, yesterday we landed at runway 30, now we're landing at runway 2. And we landed here yesterday, now we're going to be landing here. And according to the thing, you see, again, it's a degree out. It says here it's 020, which is your inbound course, but yet on here it's put it down as 21. You know, who cares? It's 1 degree. If I crash, I'll just blame it on that. Actually, it shouldn't really be when I crash, should it? It should be. It shouldn't be if I crash, it should be when. Oh boy. You just get to that point where you just get a little bit sick of things just not going right. And yeah, as you guys say, you know, you learn from your mistakes. But that's the hope. The hope is that I learn from my mistakes. That's kind of the idea of what you're supposed to do, right? Actually, I like sitting on the left seat. Different. Yeah, I can't... Yeah, it does. It is different. That's camera 1. But funny, isn't it? Like on this seat. I don't know what these things are called, but I can just about see this one. If I go to the other side on the same seating row, you get to see the whole wing. All about. Just because of the way I've got the thing seated. What the hell is that different? I can't be bothered. I don't know why. It's in the same row of seating, and one guy can see the whole wing, the other guy when he gets a bit of it. Maybe he can't twist his neck around quite far enough. Stuck in New Zealand on your round the world trip. Oh, cool. You said hi. So you're doing an actual proper round the world trip where you're just landing and then filing another flight plan to the next place. And how have you planned each stop? You know, like where you're going to land next and stuff like that. Have you followed a thing like a preset plan that's been done before in real life, or if you didn't, get back on the bike when you fell off? Yeah, exactly. So it looked like it was just a simple mistake of just being too low to capture the glide slope, because that was my first warning sign, wasn't it? On the stream I said, you know, the first thing I knew there was some kind of issue was that when we didn't capture the glide slope. And we were, you know, I had the runway in sight, and I knew we should have captured it by that point, and it was still not there, and that was my first warning. So hopefully, I mean, the safe belts and braces in me would probably want to do that, just to keep myself 100 feet under the 5,000 recommended, just to capture the glide slope a little bit quicker. But anyway. Oh yeah, so I've got the 2.5 and I'm going to write down the current, where we go, perf, get to the approach phase. I'm just going to write down the current info so I've got it to hand quickly. So it's, I'm not going to write it on that page because that doesn't make any sense. So 2525, and then we have A2992 300 for 7 and 17 degrees. Just going to get a refresh on that. Okay, so 2993 it is now, the air pressure. Wind is 360 for 9. 360, eh? You could have just put 0, but then it would have looked weird. 000. So yeah, 360 at 9 knots. And still minus 17. Scattered clouds, 2,100 feet, scattered at 3,500, broken at 25,000 feet, yeah. And it's these remarks that I don't know some of these, like, yeah, like all of that stuff. Visibility is 7 statute miles, no rain apparently, so cool. Really do not want to miss. You know, we could put this information in now, couldn't we? I know we're a little ways out, like 100, we're 100 miles from top of descent. Yeah, Navigraph. Sometimes, Von Doodle, if I'm using general aviation, small aircraft, I just use a little nav map for planning the route. It's great. Little nav map's awesome. It's an awesome utility. So yeah, when do you guys put the? Do you wait for the message to come up, or do you do it a little bit earlier? Do you have like a set time for when you put in the destination info? Because I'm going to put this in now, because this is not going to change, so we'll leave that in. The QNH currently is 2993. When it says enter destination data, I will refresh the meta and see if it's changed, and then just make any alterations. And then we have a 360 or 0, same thing, right? 360. I don't know if it would accept 0. I don't see why not. Actually, that's not correct. So it's /09. Let's see if it'll just update that back end. No, it doesn't. Okay. See, it has made it 0. It will accept 0, I think. So it's 0/09. Or 9 will do. There we go. Transition altitude is correct. 100 miles. Yeah, so I'm kind of that, aren't I, really? Atlanta. I haven't used it. No, I haven't used it. Now, explain this to me. I have seen a pilot, a real one, enter the minimums here, baro. Not radio, but baro, 2525. But on his screen, instead of baro, he had MDA here. So, why am I not getting MDA? Why am I getting baro instead? Yep, and I was watching the video and I noticed he didn't have the radio filled in. It was definitely on the barometer there. Or barometric, whatever. 2525, he definitely had that on. And it was matched here, the number, but it said MDA instead of baro. MDA is what I'm expecting to see there. I just don't know why it wasn't displaying that text. It may have been on the... No, I'm pretty sure it was... Yeah, it was on the... I've seen 2 videos of this guy. It was... One was in the X-plane, in the Airbus A321, and the other one was in the Fenix version 1 plane. Yeah, I'm not quite sure on that one. Look at this. Is this like a frozen river? Jeez. Can't be. Can it? Nah. It's too big. Yeah, how do you know when you're in Canada? It's like just a massive version of the Swiss Alps, but just a lot bigger, a lot wider. Exactly, yeah. I'll have to eat the passengers. How do you decide? Oh, we're going to eat Steve first. There's more meat on him. It'll last longer. And in the cold we can just... Yeah. I've only seen that movie once, alive. And it was a long time ago. Yeah, scenery's awesome. It's what it was yesterday, but just at night. Couldn't see it. So yeah, I guess a little bit further in we can click this. And if it does change a little bit, like the wind, it's not going to be too much. I wouldn't have thought. I don't think the terrain's going to show too much at this altitude. What I did the other day was, yesterday, was I actually put the terrain on this side, sorry, this one, and not on mine. I can see it there. And also, what I do here as well is on the co-pilot side, I've got the activate approach phase set there, so I can maintain the flight plan on here and activate it there if I need to. Yeah. A fair bit of meat. Yeah. The question is, though, do they give him a porno mag to read so that he can, or to look at, so that there'll be a little bit more to go around? What the hell? Oh. Please don't answer that. Yeah. Right, so can we just increase our range here? There we go. So there's top of descent. Roughly around 45 miles out, I would say, ish. And here in the progress page we can put in our destination, CY egg. We'll slap that into there, and this is our as the crow flies distance to the airport in a straight line. Although we're not doing a straight line. So I'm going to do this one as well, Wasp, and you let me know if this is the way you do it as well. So I'm going to apply the meta. going to assume the runway is dry on this one because I've got no reason to think otherwise. I'm going to be landing with low brakes. I'm going to be using my reversers. It's going to be a manual landing. It's going to be a flap 3 landing. Auto throttle will be on. Obviously when you come into land and you idle the throttles at 20 feet or whatever, 10-20 feet, the auto throttle will cancel. And the landing weight is, we've got 3,660. Let's call it 370, 3,700. Actually, let's wait till it gets to 3,600. So 3,600. Expected is 3,200 on board when we land. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. So 3.2 when we land. Currently 3.6. So there's going to be 400 kilos of fuel gone between 3,600 and when we land. So you take that 400 off this, 63,000 minus the 400, 63,500 or 63.5, and we put that in here, 63.5. Yes? Is that how you guys calculate the landing weight? Basically the current gross weight of the plane. Then you've got how much fuel is expected to be on board at landing, and how much fuel there is now. So there's a 400 kilo difference right now. So I just took the 400 kilos off this current gross weight, and that's it. Oh yeah, you're right, it does. It gives you to the threshold. Right, speed error at VV. Yeah, I think that's the orange one, right? Yeah, there you go. That's okay, I'm just going to fly straight through it. Yeah, no, you're right. I have seen it done that way, and I just keep forgetting to do it. So it's the iCow plus the runway. There we go. Yeah, I have to remember that. Okay, so 20 miles away from top of descent. I really do not want to miss that this time, because unlike the Boeing, the plane doesn't, when it gets to top of descent, it doesn't auto descend. You have to actually click the altitude back into managed mode, otherwise it won't. But the Boeing will just, when it hits top of descent, it'll aim for what's here automatically. I'm used to using the speed brake on descent. In fact, what I will try and do is before VV. See, it says 250 there. When we get to the legal limit here, the 250 at 10,000, I might just apply a little bit of drag beforehand, so we can get maybe even less speed here. Just after the limb, we'll apply a bit of drag and help it to get to that 227. It's got another 4 nautical miles to go to make that same speed. But then it's happy at making 190 at 5,000. So these stars obviously telling the plane you it thinks it can make that. So I'm not too worried about this one, really. And it's not like it's a law or regulation. But yeah, I'm used to using the ground spoilers. What I need to do, I don't know if I can set it. I do have a key set which puts it to max, but I need to have another one set so that it only goes to halfway, because when you're descending and it says more drag required, I think you're only allowed to go halfway. Or is it a case that if you apply full, the plane will only go to halfway anyway? Is that the case? I don't know. I tend not to go beyond half. when we're descending. But I don't know. What I don't know is if I do it on full, will the plane like default to half, you know? But anyway, let's get this descent now. We could have done this a little bit earlier, but we're all right. Right, so this is where it all starts to go disastrously wrong. So this is apparently called a donut. I don't know why. It doesn't have a hole, but some donuts don't. See, already we're above now. So I'm just going to stick a little... Well, we're not... It'll manage it. And again, you can find out your deviation here as well. We're 12 feet above, which I'm okay with that. It's getting a little bit too much. It doesn't... Ah, okay, so yeah, I can go all the way. Okay, so I can just use my defined key then, which is that one. So all that is for me is it's my numeric pad on the keyboard, and it's this slash, the numeric slash. That's what does that. So putting it to full, the plane only deploys half. Cool. I was hoping the plane would have a little bit of intelligence there. So GPS required accuracy 2 nautical miles. Actual accuracy 0.03, which is well within spec. So in other words, the plane knows exactly where it is in the sky. Now we are minus, just below it. Nice little descent here. Right, and we're coming into a cloudy thing. Apparently these this effect on the clouds here, these dotty effect, this grainy effect, there's a config file within the Flight Simulator folder to do with the graphics, and one of the options in there is film grain, and if you disable the film grain, apparently this goes away. I haven't actually tried it, I haven't been in there. I don't even remember what file it was, but it exists. Yeah. Yeah, so, wow. So the next thing we're waiting for altitude-wise is the 18,000 feet. So we can get the air pressure in, which was 2993 last I looked. I mean, it says it here, 2991, but refresh the meta, 2993. There we go. So with low brakes, this is where we'll be stopping if we land at the correct place. If we did medium brakes, and if we did maximum brakes. On the 2 landings I've done though, I've noticed the brakes do get hot and I've had to put the fans on. But I'm hoping to avoid that now. Right, so this is our decel point there, the D. So are we putting approach phase on just before that? Maybe here at this purple dot. We can do it in this one. Just notice we're at 27,000 feet. We need to be under 190. 19,000 in 30 miles. It's not asking us for more drag, but we're alright. Change the required. You can change it? In the sim though, it doesn't really change, right? I mean, it stays accurate all the time. It doesn't lose accuracy in the sim, right? Just after the magenta dot and just before magenta D. Cool, cool. Now, is this always the case on every flight on a descent, that there'll be a magenta dot before the D? Because the D is the oh yes, the limb. Right, so the magenta dot is the limb, and the magenta D is the decel point. Okay. Cool. I'm not used to seeing them that close together. So yeah, this is your 10,000 feet. Right. Oh, very cool. We're in line. There's basically not really any real deviation here. Good descent path so far. Ding dong. This is your captain speaking. But let's tell everybody. Bring me a cup of coffee in. And it'd be good if you could talk to the cabin crew there, but never mind. So yeah. This is your captain speaking. It's going to be cold down there, so don't forget to put your big coat on and tuck your trousers into your socks. Thank you. Yeah. That's what the passengers are saying back to the pilot. Good luck, we're all counting on you. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know what we landed on yesterday. Was it grass? I don't know. Icy patches. We're gonna land alongside the runway so you guys can see what the actual runway looks like. Consider it a present from the pilot and a little sightseeing tour. I also have my Navigraph now. I've got the app on as well, the widgety thing, so it's up here as well. I do find, although maybe not now, but I don't know, I found the text to be a little bit, I mean not here, but on the charts I found the text to be a little bit blurry. Let's see if it's the same. It's nice and easy to look at it from here. Actually, no, that's pretty damn sharp. Cool. It was quite blurry the first time I looked at this, but no, that is pin sharp. Jesus. Yeah. Okay, no problems with that. It's rendering nicely. I don't know what it was before. It just looked really naff. And I've never had the widget on before. Like kept it on. I've had it on before and then took it off because it didn't play nicely with the sim for some reason. But it's been a while since I took it off, so I've decided to put it back on and see how it performs, and it seems to be okay. So flight level 190, look at this, it's just going to nail it, isn't it? We have to be under the 190 at this point, and we are now doing exactly that. So we're going to be soon at 180, so I'm going to start setting the 2993 air pressure. Now, do you guys set this exactly at the 18,000, exactly at the transition altitude, or do you do it just maybe a little bit before? I'll do it now. So 2993, and we've got to quickly do this side, because if we don't, we're going to get a message whinging at us. down here to say that we'll get a message on here to say that they're not synced. Doesn't matter about this one, this is just your backup thing. This won't throw any messages, pretty sure of that. It would be nice if you could set these labels to be a little bit transparent, so you could just see underneath, because sometimes they just really get in the way. Okay, so next thing is 10,000 feet. I'm going to be enabling a couple of things there, and not enabling a couple of things that I did last time by mistake. .3, that is confirmed, it is there. 110.3. Sorry. Tiredness, guys, tiredness. Tired. Yeah, bat sim. I'm not at bat sim level. I can't do this, the talk. There's some good ATC stuff coming, but one of them, there's beyond ATC, which I think it's not going to be cheap, and I can't remember if it's a subscription payment or a one-off. I can't remember. And there's another one which I don't remember the name of, but it's based on full artificial intelligence responses and stuff like that. And it's a monthly. That's pricey, and it's a monthly thing because you have to pay for the AI servers. Like when you put in responses, each time you get a response back by AI, it costs money apparently. So anyway, but beyond ATC's looking pretty damn nifty. I have messed with Pilot ATC, I've got that. And I did a couple of little talky sessions with it, and it seemed to be okay. Yeah. Anyway, got to start there, start learning the lingo there, and then once you're conversant with that, then just drop it over into VATSIM and pray you don't make a fool of yourself, really. Grey clouds over there. Right, so heading towards 10,000. So we'll do a couple of little things, 3 little things at least to start with. And at what point I'm going to do it very shortly after 10,000 feet, but at what point do you tell the plane if you're going to do a flaps 3 landing? At what point do you press the landing mode button? I do it just after 10,000 really, just so it knows. Zoom in on your nav panel. Alright, so coming up to 10,000, so we'll get the landing lights on, we'll get the seat belts on, and we'll get the LS mode. Okay, well we can put it on now, can't we? It's not going to make any difference. Now, where is... Okay, Okay, so we're a little way from Vigil there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply a little bit of speed brake. See if we can get ourselves a little bit of drag here. Now the plane wants to accelerate.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrests down and window blinds open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing.
See, Vigil's got a constraint of 210.
Rubbish,
But why isn't that here?
that you do not want to keep.
Why is that not noted there?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep an eye on that. I'm just going to keep the drag on for now. Okay, I think we've got the speed we want. Maybe a bit too slow, but it's alright. No, we're too high. So, what would you guys do now? Would you go into VS mode?
Cabin crew must now be seated for landing. Thank you.
I'm starting to panic here now. Like I've told it, like 1800. Just above the profile, but it needs to decelerate because I can't get my flaps out otherwise. I already don't like this. Okay, I'm going to arm the approach now, yeah? Because we're already on the final here. And I need to start picking up. I'm just going to use the spoilers, the flaps, to bring it down. Okay, glide slope is capturing. Got it. Flaps 3. Checklist there. We should, yeah. At some point, you would do the approach checklist as well, wouldn't you? Or yeah, something like that. But I'm too busy. This is another camera I want to set up. This one, where it's just pointing down a little. Yeah, so it was a little bit hairy just at that point, but I used the speed brakes to bring the speed down to a manageable level so I could get the flaps out. Once I got the flaps out, the plane slowed down to the place we needed it to, and then I got flaps 2 out, it slowed down even more, and all is good on the western front. because, well, remind me when we get on the ground to mention about the autopilot binding.
1000.
Right, come on, Rust. Take 2. Now here's another one. I am going to manually fly it, but I'm not comfortable doing it from this far out. I'll deviate too much. I'm looking at my... Actually, I can from here, because this is my height from the ground. So I actually could do it from here. So
500.
keeping an eye on the end of the runway. Directors.
100 above.
What's those arrows? I've got an arrow, a red arrow and a green arrow.
Slow.
I'm paying too much attention to it.
Slow.
The red arrow and the green arrow here, what's that? I know I've sacrificed my landing to show you guys that, but I'm just curious.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
It took a while for me to get the nose down. Yeah, I let it drift offline because I was just wondering what the... because I remember you guys telling me about... Hold on, reverses down to 70 knots, and then release the reverses. I remember you guys telling me about the you know, watch the flight director, and I was watching the green, the 2 green lines, right, which doesn't seem to deviate, but I was just wondering what this arrow, though it was green at the time, and then we had a red one. Is that part of the flight director telling me that I'm too low compared to what the flight director wants, or too high compared to what the flight director wants? Is that what that is? We had a green one of these here pointing up and a red one pointing down. So does that mean I was too low and I needed to just gain altitude? And is the goal to have both green or something like that? Because I was trying to watch the runway, you know, watch the end of the runway and stuff, look all the way down the runway, and at the same time focus down flight director, visual on the runway, focus down the flight director. And I was kind of thrown by this, so I just wanted a quick explanation of it, because I knew that when I landed it'd be too late to ask because it would be gone. So slightly too high. Yeah, this V2 floats a bit more than the V1 anyway. I just need to get used to that. It is a bit more floaty. Okay, so let's get the wings in. Did I do my due diligence on the lights? I think maybe. Just trying to remember how to get up there. Yeah, I did. Okay, so APU can go on.
Edmonton ground, Air Canada 1123, request taxi to the gate.
Air Canada 1123 taxi to gate 88 using taxiway Bravo 1 Bravo Victor Oscar.
Yeah, compared to the last time it was a success. It wasn't.
To gate 88 using taxiway November.
It wasn't 100% to my own satisfaction because of that drift, but the only reason I drifted, I mean, to be fair, I do tend to drift when I'm taking over manual control. That does tend to happen to me. But on this occasion, it was because I was distracted by those arrows on the PD, and so I just wanted to ask at the time. And, you know, then get back to my landing. So I did deviate a little, and I think I was a little high at the threshold, which is, But yeah, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. We got it down. We got the friggin' glide slope, right? So even if I made a mistake drifting off the runway on that, that's just down to my own personal incompetence. But at least what I didn't manage last time, which was to get the bloody glide slope, at least we got that. So I would have been happy with that anyway. Yeah, so yeah, that's cool. Okay, landing lights can go off. And it does turn the taxi light off there as well, so I need to put that back on. Bing bong! Ladies and gentlemen, please put your... yeah, whatever. Put your head between your legs. So welcome to Edmonton International Airport in Canada. Guys, I think I missed something out. I did.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off.
What did I miss, guys, on the landing?
Devices for messaging, calls, or internet access.
I think I did anyway.
Used.
Yeah, I did.
Please make sure you take all your personal belongings.
No, not APU.
Checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat, and in the overhead.
I'll wait till she shuts up.
Do take care opening the overhead lockers as items may have moved during flight. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking
Where the
area.
hell are we go? Oh, okay.
On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your journey.
I like the voice they used. Yeah, what I missed was applying the auto brakes on low. I didn't put that on. Naughty, naughty. I mean, I got the plane stopped. That was far from any issues. But yeah, I should have applied auto brakes, and I was too busy yapping because that's not something I normally forget. Yeah, so this is much easier to steer without SDS for me. I don't have to anticipate so much. There's not many planes here. Yeah, I did not put the auto brakes on. That's something I don't normally miss, but I did this time. But I'm just going to put that down to being so concentrated on actually getting a good landing. If I'm comfortable knowing I can bring it in, then I won't, there's things like that I won't forget because I won't be so overwhelmed with thinking of things. Have I missed? Because I'm constantly thinking, what have I missed? Did I miss this? Did I miss doing that? Don't get to see the dots from outside. Right, so I'm going to put this one down as case closed. Done. Take 2 was more of a success than take 1, which was not a success in the slightest. Well, not at the end. It was okay up until the end. Yeah, it is. It's just a case of establishing a rhythm and just doing it enough times that it just becomes second nature. You know, it's like driving a circuit. You know, in sim racing, it's knowing all the braking points, when to brake, you know, what gear to be in for that corner, and it just becomes. You don't even think about it. You think, all right, I've got turn 4 coming up. You know, I'm going to brake at this exact point. I'm going to drop down to this gear. It's just completely intuitive. And I think, obviously, to a more complex extent, it's the same with this. You just need to be fluent with it, or proficient, enough that you can, it just all comes naturally. It just flows. You say, right, at 10,000 feet, I'm going to click this, I'm going to click that, I'm going to put that on, I'm going to monitor my deviation here, and blah, 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 and, you know, just keep everything within spec, and I don't know. It'll just become natural. I think I've got most of it down, but I do, like, forget stupid things like auto brakes, which at least at least my brakes are not hot, they're not overheating. So I did say, yeah, oh yeah, no, the APU's on. I did it when we landed on the runway. When we stopped on the runway, I stuck the APU on. Although sometimes for me, I'd just park it up with the engines on, request ground power, and good to go. But yeah, no, we're done. Because I barely use it, but yeah, we will use it now.
Cabin crew disarm doors.
Engine off. Da-da-da. Handbrake on. Oh, GPU gets attached automatically. You see? So the the APU rendered unneeded. Shut down the fuel pumps as well. Turn off the taxi lights. Oh, come here. What did I do it on? 9, 8, 0, 0. Forgot the beacon light, yes. So I tend to just leave the wing and the strobe on, just so that there's something. Seatbelts can go off. Okay. How have they got all the suitcases already? APU is still working, and we have the heat haze for that. It takes a while for it to spin down, but it will. So why aren't we deboarding? I wonder if this has got something to do with... yeah, no, because it was the pushback we had a thing with, wasn't it? Okay. GPU is on. Maybe it's just weird. Right, I'm going to force it if I can.
The boarding requested.
Oof. Yeah, I know, Lenny. you're right, but I've just done so many flights
Passengers deboarding.
in the last 4 years, 3 years. You'd think I should have it down by now. Yeah, I know. I just assumed that when it auto-connected the GPU that it put that switch on, but it didn't. Oh, now you want me to do it? Okie dokie then.
Your children, and for your own safety, do not walk underneath the wing.
I notice how we're not getting the rear stairs, which is kind of cool. Do not walk underneath the wing, she said. So if we go here,
Edmonton ground flare 1777 taxi to the gate. Flare 1777 taxi to gate 52 via taxiway Bravo.
yeah, well that can go to hell in a handbasket. I need to start picking airports that have got transparent jetways so we can actually see the people walking off. Is this normally in red? I thought these were in red with like orange. Oh no, I'm thinking of this. These have got the orange doors. Yeah, and I keep getting this thing. Okay, let me just clear this. So I keep getting this flight control left side stick fault, calibrate the null zones. But I did do a calibration of the throttles and stuff. I mean, in here you can do your controls config here, your thrust levers, but calibrate null zones on the side stick. Left side stick fault. So that's left side stick. Calibrate null zones. So where are we doing that? Because this is calibrating the thrust levers only. And I did do a calibration, but I don't know, something didn't go quite the way I wanted it. So I just put it back to, standard profile. I got rid of my calibration, and the standard settings here work fine for me. If you put this up, it tells you now that you're in 100% toga in the detent. If I come back to flex, it tells me I am, well, I'm a little 0.003% flex. I can move it. I can move my throttle just a little. There you go. Then we bring it into climb, and now it says it's in detent on climb. And then of course you've got idle, and then I've got reverses, where if I go full, it tells you there max reverse in detent, keeping a hold of the reverser button, come back, and you've got reverse idle in detent, and then I release and go back to standard idle, and it works perfectly. So I haven't adjusted that. It's a carryover. It's to be fixed. Oh, okay, so it's a little buggy thing then. That's fair enough. Yeah, I just clear this there. And I don't think there's any calibration here, is there? Yeah. So, all in all, a good flight. I'm happy with that. I corrected my mistake from last time. And had I... You know what? I think I wouldn't have even... Because I do tend to deviate a little bit. It seems to be to the right of the runway when we're just about to land. And I switch it onto manual. I do tend to deviate a little bit. But I try and keep it online and try not to panic too much if it goes a little bit off and overcorrect and stuff. But I think if I just focused on the runway as I normally do and not looked at the flight director and just done the whole thing visual, I think I would have just brought it down a lot better. But I was distracted by that graphic on the flight director, which it's never bothered me before because I've never noticed it. I've never been looking at it. So what I like here, guys, look, is the reflection of the A in Air Canada AI in the wing here. See that? So cool. But yeah. Yes, I was wondering where those allocation codes appear. Can be sent back when you get that message mid-flight you got in the MCDU. I refuse to call it McDo. I refuse to call this a McDo. It reminds me too much of Mr. Magoo, and so I can't do it. I can't bring myself to say McDo. It's just weird to me. But anyway, we're all good, aren't we? And I love how this works as well. The manual gear thing. It does work, doesn't it? Of course it does. I'm pretty sure it works in the fly-by-wire. Yeah, here. You pull that up and you twist it around and it lowers the gear manually in case it doesn't come down and you forgot to check the fuse. Come on, gentlemen, get it shifted. Like all the sound effects. And the cabin announcements are great, eh? I mean, they really add to it, and it's all... it just adds to the immersion. It's all really cool. Very, very nice. And you can hear the AP... you can hear the GPU running. The generator, you can just hear it. Off we go. That's it. See you, fellas. Thank you. Job well done. Next time, don't get mixed up. Next time I want to say I'm going for a tug. You can go. Oh, do I have to bring my doors in? The animation on those is quite cool as well, especially when they open. They've got like a little delay to them. See if I can show it on here. See, it opens and then it stops and then it moves again. I'm guessing that's quite close to real life. Thank you, Wasp. Yes. I wouldn't mind. Look at that, the way it bounces on the top. I wouldn't mind picking your brains as well next time I have questions. But thanks for being here, man. You were an immense help, as was Lenny. Appreciate it. And yeah, on all you guys. DEF CON. So yeah, cool. What were those arrows? I think it's just a guy. It's part of the flight director to let me know that if I'm too high, or you know, if I'm pitching too low or too high compared to what the flight director wants. I think it's just based on that. Do those guys normally sit there? I thought these guys buggered off. But that must be their point. There's no other planes here. I mean, Edmonton's quite empty. I mean, there's a couple of planes. There's one over there. There's a couple parked over there. There's one there. Yeah, no, there are planes. Let's skedaddle upwards. Get a bit of speed on this. There we go. There's another Air Canada there. Another truck with sandwiches and stuff. One day we should do one where we deboard everybody and then we can I want to get some third-party scenery for this place, and then get the food cart in to put food in, get the fuel truck over to refuel, and then get a new flight plan and do a return journey. Maybe not a flight as long as this one, but something like an hour and a half, hour and 20, hour and a half. Just fly from A to B, refuel, food on board, and then fly back. That would be cool. A return flight. Yeah, I haven't done one of those, but it'd be nice to complete, you know, to complete one. Oh, the T10's going to be a long time off. Is it a turret build? Oh, I haven't noticed. I'm a floater also. I'll tell you what though, the flare on the V2 is, on the A320 V2, is a little bit more than the V1 was. It does float a little bit more. It's just a case of getting used to it, really. I know that in the V1, I think it should be the same now, but you know, a real-world Airbus pilot has said that you start to pitch the nose up and flare. You start to do the flare maneuvering at around 30 feet, and then somewhere between 10-20 feet, you idle the throttles. You know, when it calls out retard. So you idle the throttles somewhere between 10-20 feet, depending on your speed, and just let the plane fall. But I did take a while getting the nose down, but I'm not unhappy with that. It was okay. I've seen real planes put their back wheels down and take a fair while before the front hits the ground, so I was okay with it. It's fine. Yeah. And the more I do in this plane, the more I'll learn its nuances. And as well, coming in slowly, you know, coming in slow, and maybe even controlling the speed manually coming in. I don't know. Maybe that will help it not float so much, but I tend to leave it on auto thrust all the way in, but you don't have to. You can disengage auto throttle on the way down, and then just manage your speed, bring it down to your VREF, and you know, you're hoping that the auto throttle's doing that anyway. But yeah. Like when you flare, you don't have to flare too much. You don't have to pitch the nose up too much. As long as if you're at the right speed, you know, you're not going too fast coming in. I'm sure you can just pitch the nose up just a tiny little bit, just so your back wheels hit the ground first, and then see if you pitch the nose up too much, when your back wheels go down, it's going to take longer for you to put the nose down, isn't it? The nose wheel. Talking of the nose wheel, by the way. What am I hearing? What's that sound effect? Detail on that. Oh, look at the people's footprints. Get off my plane. The detail in that light texture. Got the springs. Got another light there, look. Don't tell me we can read this label. Of course we can, it's Fenix. Bring the wheels back to the centered position. Caution, the twin wheels may come back. See, there's none of this blurry textures on the text thing. No, it's all completely readable, no matter where you go on the plane. And look at this braided pipe here. Look at this, the detail on that. Like anywhere you want to read on the underside. Everything's readable. You've got text under here. Some of the liveries do have quite a bit of text. underneath. This one doesn't seem to have too much, but where there is some, it's readable, because all of these, I think you get 75 liveries with the Fenix plane. You get give you 75. So you may have a British Airways livery that comes with the CFM engines, but not with the IAE engines. You know, it doesn't mean that both planes get both liveries, but you can make an alteration in the config file and do a copy, and you'll have it for both. So I think it's doable for both. But the paint scheme will be different on the engines, because the engines are visibly different. But all of the liveries that they do give you are 8K, I believe, every one of them. Oops, went up too far there. See, look at the detail here. Look, just even these embossed numbers in the metal plates there, and all the screws. All the screws aren't pointing in the same direction. They're all twisted a different way. I mean, it's the detail on this is just crazy, crazy good, crazy in a good way. Elite ship detail, yeah. And this is cool as well, the brake fans that are actually animated and functional. You know, it's not just there for show. It actually works. And then you got your hydraulic brake lines, I would imagine those are, going right up into the plane. Obviously, there's no point putting, you know, massive detail into these parts. There's no point. You're not going to be here looking around in any great detail, or you should be flying the damn thing. But it's just absolutely fantastic detail everywhere. Even on the body, the underbody, the bump mapping is just really good. And some of the liveries that they've commissioned people to do, they've got great levels of dirt on them, you know, streaking off the windows. Look at the way that dirt just comes off the windows towards, like it's going up and left at an angle. You see that? And then of course you've got a little bit of drippage coming off the windows as well. So the people that have made these liveries have done a fantastic job. None of these are from FlightSim.to. They're just, I guess they've commissioned people who've made good liveries on FlightSim.to, and they've said, you know, do you want to make a livery for the actual plane? And this is what they've done, I believe. But yeah, absolutely fantastic job. I think everybody's off the plane now. Oh, what does that say? Do not paint. Oh, do not paint. Brilliant. Yeah, what an aircraft this is. Jesus. And when you're flying up in, you know, at cruise altitude, and you look underneath the plane, and you see all of the, look at the detail on this. Just the way that all the panels are separated with these bump lines or recessed lines. And the glass, look at the texture on the glass. And when that light is flashing, it just looks so real. Even the tire has, what do they call it? Deformation. It's deformed at the bottom, as you would expect it to be with the weight of the aircraft. Yeah, look at those brakes, man. Jesus. Yeah. Fenix have done a fantastic job. It's certainly worth the money, isn't it? Right, so that's everybody out. So, toggle the jetway, get it away, and then we'll shut the plane down, and we're good. So we'll leave the chocks and cones in place. GPU can go away. And batteries off. That's it. She's as dead as a doornail. I don't know if there's a way to switch this off, but there is something you can do because it's not getting charged now, you see, because the engines have been off for a while. We've lost 6% battery, but you could just pull the cable out and wait for it to go down. I have never done this, but I'd love to see what happens when this decharges all the way down to 0, if it will actually power off. And then you've got to plug the cable back in to to make it charge up again. But it doesn't charge up because you need to switch the batteries on, at least, I would say. But I don't know though. I mean, 94%, how has it lost 6% so quickly? Is it from, like, if I put the batteries on, does that charge it? No. Okay. Ground power is available. No, it's not. Because we turned it off, didn't we, just now? Surely with ground power, though. Yes, now it's charging. It won't charge off the batteries, but it will charge off ground power. We'll get it back up to 100% that way. Yeah, I love it. I don't think there is a power switch on it though. I haven't seen one. Another thing I sometimes struggle with getting used to it. We can also change the position of the EFB. You can move it from the window, but I don't exactly know where else it goes. Maybe on the guy's seat or something. I wanted it out the way, but let's see what happens here. We unlock the window. Is this the one, or is it the Boeing where it has a pin that you need to push in to close the window? So to push that back, right, now the window's open, let some fresh air in, and then to get it back, this is the thing I'm struggling with. What am I clicking? Right, there's a pin. Is it on this plane? Yeah, this thing. Window latch. There we go. There you go. Yeah, I knew there was a pin somewhere. And then you lock it. There you go. That's how you do it. Yeah, I forgot about that pin before, and I was like 10-15 minutes thinking, oh, great, now I can't take off because I can't figure out how to close the epoxy window. And of course, yeah, you just have to flick that switch, otherwise it won't slide the window back. It locks into place. And yeah, as I pointed out on my stream yesterday, down here in this cupboard thingy, I have this, which is relating to some incident that happened many years ago in the flight simming world, where somebody used a file called test.exe to do something malicious with it, and this is kind of a tribute to that. So even that's in here. Yeah, brilliant. Anyway, I am going to exit the plane. I have to jump out now because I've taken the jetway away. So, ooh, can we open the door from here? I don't think so. No, don't think there's any hotspots on this. Anyway, there you go. That's it, guys. I am done. Thank you for watching this one. Please, if you make the same mistakes as me, please learn from my own mistakes. And you'd be good to go. Just, yeah, don't do what I do. Stow the coffee pot during taxi, takeoff turbulence, and lading. Oh no, spelling. Oh no, I'm going to send that off to Phoenix and say, get that fixed. There'll be a block 2 version 2.1 spelling correction. Lading. Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they'd spelt it wrong on the real plane. Yeah, no, that was just a... Wow. There's a word you don't see every day. Placarded. Wow. Do not operate during taxi takeoff, turbulence and landing. There you go. Espresso, spelt correctly as well. Coffee maker. Brew handle must be in down position during taxi takeoff, turbulence and landing. Why am I reading the coffee machine? I'm curious to see what's here. Remove used coffee bag, rinse grounds from cup. Wow. Awesome. Right. There you go. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm glad I got this done. I'm glad I did it. I had to get it out of the way and get it off my mind. And now I have, so that's it. Done. So, until the very next time. Okay, what just happened? Oh, that's going through into the cabin. That's done something in the cabin. Okay, that's weird. Oven? Right, okay. 07 everybody, thank you for watching. I will catch you next time, and I need to get my end credits updated. I will do that. In fact, I'll do that today. And until then, hasta la vista. Bye-bye.